Well, we're going to have two segues to that. You brought up two very good points there. We're going to talk about the cars in a moment, but the one that, if you were going to talk about legacy and you talk about achievements, I'm sure you have rooms full of awards as far as Entrepreneur of the Year, Business Leader of the Year. The list goes on and on. I've seen them on your LinkedIn, and I'm sure there's a lot more. But the one that obviously will stick out is the Member of Order of Canada. For people listening around the world, to get this achievement, to get this honor, this is the biggest legacy you could receive being in Canada. And walk us through it. When did you first get the phone call or the communication that this was going to happen? And what was going through your mind, your heart as you felt when you heard it?
I've always said there was three moments, the best moment in my life. The first moment was I took my mom. My mom doesn't live in Canada. She lives in Beirut.
Okay.
During the pandemic, it was for almost a year and a half, I couldn't see her. So I actually arranged a trip, me and her alone. And my kids were jumping up and down. We want to go see her. I said, no, that's me and her alone. And my sister said, I'll bring her. I said, no, I want her alone. And I staffed her on the plane to Turkey, and I met her there. I went the day before. I booked her a very nice hotel suite. I actually booked her a suite that Jennifer Lopez slept in. I treated her like a model date that I've been waiting for all my life. And she was my date that I flew the world across the ocean just to see that beautiful woman that she is. And that was my 84 years old mom. I took her out on a yacht. I took her in a helicopter. I took her to every restaurant. I sat beside her bed when she was sleeping. I sat beside her when she was praying. And in the last day, before we left, she looked at me, she held my hand, and she said, these are my best 3 days of my entire life. I don't know if I'll live again to be this happy. I will forever bless you for what you just did. And that was a moment where if I would have died, it would have been okay. The blessing of my mom coming from her heart, telling me that I've made her the best 3 days of her life. And to everyone listening to me, if you have a mother or a father alive, don't waste any minute. Spend time with them. Because once you lose them, and I haven't lost them, once you lose them, it's a huge loss. I grew up to believe no one prays for you from the heart when your parents die, because they're the only one that prays for their children as deep as they do. No one else can match it. So, I always believe when your mom or your dad dies, the prayers become less for you and for your life. So, if you have them alive, enjoy a lot of time with them. The second moment when I got the key to the city of Mississauga, and Kawhi Leonard at the time got a key around a month before that.
Yes.
And I stepped up from the stage and my son told me, I thought Kawhi was my hero. You're my hero, and I didn't know. And that was my son telling me this. Of course, I'm not Kawhi Leonard. I'm not even the height of his hip. But the bottom line for me, my son called me his hero, and I felt like, that's all what I need as a father. That's it. I'm done. I could walk now. Take me to my funeral. I'm fine, right? And the third time when I got the call, I was walking on University Avenue beside the Shangri-La Hotel, and I got a call, and it says, Governor General's office. And for an immigrant named Mohammed, you're probably going to get deported in your mind, right? And I picked up the phone, and I said, is everything okay? Like, right off the bat, like this.
You had no clue?
No clue what's going on.
Okay.
And everything okay, Mohammed? Why? And I said, I don't know. Usually it's not a good call for an immigrant with the name Mohammed coming from the Governor General office. He was worried that you guys deporting me or something. She started laughing. She said, no, it's a good news. You are getting the Order of Canada. And for a minute, I said nothing. And she said, your name was proposed to the Honorable Governor General, and she granted you the honor of, and she's saying that, and my tears are like dripping like a crazy. Like I
Yes.
found myself crying and smiling at the same time. And it was a huge moment. Like I sensed it in my heart. I sensed it. I felt it in my heart. And I'm like, oh God, thank you. Like it's a blessing. Then you go home, you're gonna tell your children, like it's like crazy. Like
Do you know who put you forward?
I
Did you ever find out?
apparently several people, and it was a couple of application, and
Wonderful.
yeah, great.
And without telling you,
No,
they didn't
no,
tell you. They just selflessly put it forward,
No.
and you don't find out till you're actually awarded.
yeah, and it was, and you know what was most beautiful about it?
What's that?
When it was announced publicly,
Yes.
I received calls from many people saying that's my dad was crying last night hearing you got the Order of Canada, and I'm like, but I don't know your dad. I know, but my dad loves you because it's like him receiving it, he felt. And then somebody saying, my mom was so touched by you receiving the Order of Canada. So because it seemed like even people setting me up for interview for TV before the interview,
Yes.
like people like checking the voice and the picture. Oh my God, my mom was talking how touched she was by you getting the Order of Canada. Because that's our story. My story is not unique. It's the immigrant story. It's every single one of us story. And people saw me being awarded the highest order as a civilian. It made the people, the normal people like us, feel celebrated finally. And people who comes from different background being celebrated finally. Not when they're dead. Not when they're too old. You know, someone that people see every day on the street got the Order of Canada. So I didn't feel like it was only my celebration. It was our celebration. A lot of Canadian, Ontarian, Torontonians celebrated with me.
That's so beautiful. And the emotions you felt when you got that call, how did that emotion measure to when you actually were there at the presentation and saw it? When you actually received the order?
We did not yet. They haven't done.
They haven't done it yet.
They haven't done it. It's coming soon. They haven't done it.
Because of what was happening, they still. Okay,
so they sent us the pin. They announced us within the interview, but they haven't done it.
So same as Danny Green with the Raptors championship ring that he forgoed it until it was going to be in person.
Yes.
Wonderful. We look forward to that when they do have that ceremony for you.
I can't wait.
Excellent. Thank you for enjoying today's episode of the Chosen Life podcast. Go ahead and hit the subscription button below and the notification bell to catch all of our great shows. And remember to contact the Chosen Lawyers when you are ready for your next real estate and commercial transaction. Go to kormans.ca.